Hello, awesome people, and welcome to another video. I wanted to show you this awesome application that you can download on your computer called SketchUp. And you can go to sketchup.com and sign up. It's great, it's free, it's really cool. You can design to your heart's content. Now, what I'm currently doing here is I'm actually creating the dimensions for a tiny house because I thought it would be cool to plan the one that I drew out on the computer, and I had to take a look at the dimensions and see how tall different things had to be. So I'm using the pencil tool to draw lines, and it's actually really cool because this program has where you can draw things along the axis to determine the height. If you look at the bottom right hand side, you can actually see the height and the length that I am drawing these lines. So it's good to determine exact measurements of things. You can plan out your whole little world and be as creative as you like. In part one, I am going to be doing the bathroom part of the app because the bathroom is just going to be along the far wall. It's not going to have a loft on it, so it'll just be very easy to do. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm actually creating the flooring, which I feel should be taller, but according to the diagram, this is how much space I should allow. Obviously, things will be a little bit different on a trailer with wheels, but I haven't added wheels yet to the program. I think that'd be a very exciting challenge. But so far we'll just do the floor. Now, I do like to start off just by drawing the ground. That was the first flat shape I drew because I like something to look at. Because if you don't draw the ground first, it gets kind of confusing when looking at the program because you can just see straight down into oblivion. So, adding this is cool. Now, I did take a look online to see what the requirements in a couple general fifth wheel trailers are, how far they are. Now, I do know that when towing a tiny home, including the vehicle, it has to be a total of 65 feet. So most trailers are about 40. When you do a fifth wheel, because that part that I just did right there is actually over the bed of the truck, those can actually be longer. And so that's kind of the one I wanted. I figured I could throw the bathroom up there. It'd be a pretty tall bathroom, and then I could still have the two lofts on either side, potentially. Now, when I am drawing walls and things, I do like to draw them kind of in a triangle pattern, just because it's easier to make sure that the wall is level and straight. I find that when I just go over in a straight line, sometimes I can't tell that it is actually straight to straight on each corner. So you'll see me do that a lot, that triangle pattern. The only thing I don't like about this application is that the the only thing I don't like about the application is that the zoom in and zoom out is kind of awful. So you'll actually see me zoom in way too much and then zoom out way too much. I think that has more to do with the sensitivity on my keypad, my laptop, because I'm not using a mouse, I'm using my trackpad. So I think that might be a little bit more difficult. I've yet to try it with my wireless mouse. I have to get that out of storage, so we'll see how that goes. Now, so right here, I'm just making sure I make enough room for the edges of the walls, because when designing, even though this is only like, I don't know, 10 inches for each wall, those 10 inches add up when you go all around. And in my first tiny house I only created one layer of wall. I didn't make them thick, I just made it a line. And when doing that and adding things to the wall, the drawing actually showed up on the outside of the wall. So when I realized that happening, I realized I actually had to make the walls thicker, because if you erase that line, it erases the object, like you kind of saw in the beginning. Now I'm creating the stairs here, And my favorite thing to do to create the stairs is actually to create a rectangle and section it off in the middle at the midpoints, and then create the same midpoints on the wall. And then from there, you can actually raise each one up a level as you saw me do. So that way each stair is the exact same height and you get the number of stairs that you want. So for this one, I only did 4 because it's only going up a little bit of a height. I feel like I could have gotten away with 3, but it is hard to measure out a third of a space unless you were to do some calculations on the, on your calculator. Now, I did create a half wall. I do find that creating doors are difficult. I'll probably put a door in later or something like that. There is a cool program on here where you can take what other people have created, which is what I'm doing here to grab the toilet. I also do it for some parts of the sink. I tend to do it for things that are more rounded just because I haven't necessarily gotten the rounding done, and sometimes it's just nice instead of spending 4 hours creating a toilet to just get one that somebody else made. Now, you'll notice in a few moments when I pull up some other things that some people don't use the measurement tool. They design something super ginormous, so when you go to click on it, it's really big. Like the shower there does not fit. So I need a new shower. Some of them are even bigger than that. I decided to go with a tub, and I really liked this one because it was curved on one side. And then I'm just going to add the shower features later, the walls and everything like that. Now, the cool thing about this is even though I am creating walls, I can still zoom in enough to see everything. I do save the last wall, for last, but it's great to make things. Now I'm doing the stair trick on this cabinet space as well, where I'm just grabbing the midpoint, and I keep grabbing the midpoint until I get to a space that I like. And I can actually extend that line down like what I'm doing here, so that way it's the same on all sides. And then I do the same thing for the top and the bottom part, and then I've got a little cubby, which there is a tool on the side. It kind of looks like a square with an arrow pointing up over on the side there, and that is what I'm using to, create height and depth in the objects. So you actually don't have to erase the object and actually draw each individual line. You can just move it back, and it's really quite nice. You'll see me use it here again to kind of readjust the shelves to kind of make them, I'm just eyeballing it because there's no way to really calculate too much how to make it work. Now I did just color it wood. I do tend to color things the wooden color just to see how it looks. I don't necessarily keep it the wooden color. In fact, I think I'm going with a teal later. But sometimes the wood just helps things look a little bit better, especially if it's a cabinet space. Now, I did try pulling up a couple different sinks and ended up not liking them. So I decided to build my own, and I just drew a square on the ground and used that leveler tool, I'm going to call it, to raise the sink part up and to build it how I like. And now I am lost in the cabinet, so when that happens, just zoom out as far as you can go, and eventually you'll find out where you went. So I tried a couple different sink tops and eventually decided to type in sink bowl because I thought it would look nice to have a bowl sitting. And there was one of the pieces where it was too big. You kind of saw the corner of it. So I went with this blue bowl, and some people might be thinking, now you gotta have a blue bowl. Like that's not gonna work with design. But the cool part is you can actually change the color of the object, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment. You can make things a little bit more colorful. I did change the background color from a tan to a brown because I made the sink tan, but I'm also going to change that in a moment. So, and then there is an example of how bad of a speller I am. I did not know how to spell faucets, so I actually had to Google it. And I found one I liked, and then once I placed it, I realized, oh, it does not work. So by double clicking on it, you can actually click on the whole object, pieces of objects, and different colors and things like that. And I could, by doing kind of a top-down view, I could place it. Now when placing objects, as soon as you click on something else, it automatically stops. So I had to, because I placed it too close and I kind of liked the look of it, I just copied the blue bowl and deleted it and then placed it again. Now here I am, I'm going to color the bowl, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to make it transparent. Now the transparent tool is great, but it kind of makes certain things gray. So you can see all the lines going through it, but you can't see anything past it. But it is technically the glass part, and I tried different types of glass. I eventually ended up on a gray one just because I thought it looked the best, and I figured I could make everything else gray with the video as well, so I thought it'd be really nice there. Now, I think I'm going to be doing the doors on the sink next. Yes, I am. So I'm just using my lovely, doing the midpoint section again, so I can get the correct dimensions, things that look nice. I do try to keep it even on both sides, and as you can see, I'm not drawing the lines all the way to the bottom, except for the ones that are the final product, or the ones when I'm drawing them horizontally, I'm not drawing the ones all the way over. And the reason why I do this is because you can only erase each individual line, so it makes for less erasing. And I looked at a couple different knobs before settling on these, and I thought I could put them towards the top, but then I realized putting them horizontally did not make sense, so I'd have to do a vertical alignment. And I placed both of them and colored them before realizing that when I was looking at the cabinet, I had actually placed it several inches away from the cabinet. And I found that out when I was trying to line them up and couldn't get them lined. And I'm like, oh wait, those are nowhere near the cabinet. So I did adjust that, and we are actually at the end of what I had recorded. So I'm going to do another video with kind of a finished-ish bathroom, working on some other stuff. I haven't done any others of the house yet. I just did some design aspects. Thank you very much for watching, and if you like more videos like these, I do play other video games and things. I am going to be posting a lot more soon. I just had to figure out my setup. So thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Bye.